Good morning everybody and welcome to Visit Fylde Coast. I thought we'd start this one with me. Yes, this is the first one I've started with me on it. So as you can see, we're in Blackpool this morning and I'm actually at the pumping station at the Manchester. And if I turn around slightly, you can see the esteemed establishment at the back of me somewhere. There it is, look, the Manchester pub. Because this morning we're going to go and we're going to talk to our friends at the Heritage Tram Depot, and we're going to have the 2 and 6 penny tour of the depot and what kind of state it's in and how it needs your help and how it's got a long and auspicious past. So come with us and see what we can see. It's the first time I've been on this little bit of seafront since the pumping station was completed, and it's been done ages. These are the vents from the underground sewage system. Yes, we're back on toilets, folks. It's one of those things. It's part of life, and yeah, well, it's part of life. So there's the actual building itself. You might remember there used to be a windmill there, and there's the lovely tower. So I thought we'd start here to orientate you, just in case anybody's not quite sure exactly where we are, because we're going to go to Rigby Road. And I don't know whether you can see just down there are some really pretty pastel coloured houses with sort of pointy roofs. That's part of the new Foxhall village at Rigby Road, well, off Rigby Road. Rigby Road is just down the side of the Manchester here. So this kind of puts it into context, and I got quite a surprise actually when I started looking information up this morning, because I didn't realise that Rigby Road had been pretty much what you might call one of the central parts of Blackpool's sort of commercial past, for want of a better description. So for example, it was home to the Corporation Donkey Stables. In 1924, an old hangar was erected, known as the Carnival Shop, which was used to make floats for the parades and galas and events and things. In 1936, the illuminations moved there, and in 1938, the roof was extended, and it even had its own ghost called Ted. So there you go. When you go past Rigby Road, say hi to Ted. It was used as a site for waste disposal. Right, we're off. Are you ready? We're off across the road. He's jumped the lights. And all the site was cleared by 2009, which I think is where they've built the Foxhall village. But we'll check that when we get to meet our friends. Now I do remember vaguely an old Art Deco pub here. I don't know whether you can, pop a comment below if you do, but this was rebuilt I think sometime in the 80s. I'm not quite sure. And did you know that Spen Dyke also ran to the sea along Rigby Road, and it's now culverted underneath the floor somewhere? I know that there are lots of old river outlets and waterways that have been built over and culverted underneath the streets of Blackpool, and that's part of the problem why you get an issue when there's so much rain and you get surface flooding. So it all really started to change in August 1893 when the Blackpool St Anne's and Lytham Tramway Company was incorporated. So this is Lytham Road. I always get this one and Central Drive mixed up. But this is Lytham Road, and this goes all the way right down to Starr Gate Lane, one of the long straight roads. And this is Rigby Road down here. That's where we're going right now. And once the Blackpool St Anne's and Lytham Tramway Company was incorporated, slow down! They built the tramway system beginning here, which travelled via Lytham and Clifton Drive through St Anne's to Clifton Square in Lytham, so in that direction. And of course there is no tramway now to Lytham. Well, at the minute, there might be one day if the Fylde Coast tram loop ever gets going. So Rigby Road Tram Depot, which is this building straight in front of us that we're coming up to now, was built in 1920 when the previous depot at Blundell Street became too, small. Busy corner. I think they need a pair of litter pickers as well. And it was originally built with 4 corrugated iron ex-World War I aircraft hangars, which were brought from Squires Gate Lane. It even had its own foundry and sawmill, and even made trams. When you look at these old buildings here, they shout history. You can see just how old they are, and these obviously are the lines which the heritage trams trundle in and out of as they come into the depot. And we're going to go and have a look round. I'm right excited. If there's anything I like, it's this kind of thing. Let me show you through the slats. So this is the old tram sheds from the other side of the gate, and we're going to go and have a proper look round inside. So the next question I asked myself was, well, if there's been so much industrial past at Rigby Road, where does Rigby Road start and end? So I got the old Google Maps out and had a look at it. And Rigby Road obviously starts at the Manchester, where we've just come from, but it goes all the way down to Central Drive. And if you're familiar with Central Drive, there's a big sort of a hoarding with signs on it that says where the Foxhall Village is being built. So that's the other side of where we are now. Since 2014, the Heritage Trams has been a visitor attraction. That looks like somebody I know. This is. I'll introduce you while I've caught her unawares. This is Jane Cole.
Hello. I didn't
Good morning, Jane. Another Jane. Jane meet Jane.
Good morning, Jane Rabbit.
Good morning. I'm just on my way to meet Bryan.
Yes, is it from your
So you
video
can,
blog?
yeah. So you can stand down. Yes.
Okay.
So this is another Fylde Coast amazing woman. I have to say, when I grow up, I want to be like you. All joking apart, Jane really is. She really is a great woman, and she's absolutely transformed Blackpool Transport. So all the good things that you like about it, probably down to Jane and a great team working with her. So anyway, going back to Heritage Tram, since 2014 it's been a visitor attraction, and they've got 35 vintage trams, but they've got a problem with the roof. And when you see the size of the roof and the age of the building, you can kind of understand why. And this is the Art Deco building that Blackpool Transport live in. So I'll take you into reception and then you can have a little look in here, because it's perhaps somewhere that you're not used to going. So this is reception, and I will follow the instructions and do whatever it says on the phone. Well, we couldn't have timed that any better if we'd tried. Bryan and I have just come round the corner to look at the tram shed itself, and lo and behold, this gorgeous specimen of green and cream is just setting off for a day, trundling up and down along the promenade. There you go, you can say that you've seen it setting off from where it lives. 147. What type of tram is that, Bryan?
That's a Blackpool Standard tram.
A Blackpool Standard tram.
1924.
1924. Goodness, it's nearly as old as me. It's nearly as old as me. Beautiful. So this is Bryan. This is Bryan Lindop, Head of Heritage at Blackpool Transport.
Hello.
Heritage Trams? What's your official job title, Bryan?
It's Head of Heritage.
Head of Heritage. Right, super.
Yes.
Make sure we get the right name. And this is the offending building, and when you get near up to it, you can actually see what a bit of a pickle it's in. It actually reminds me. This is going to make you smile, Bryan. It actually reminds me of where I used to work in a previous life, because would you believe, as a young woman, I worked in an iron foundry.
Wow, that's impressive. You don't look a sort of iron foundry girl. Somehow.
Yes, I got the overalls and the hard hats and the boots. No, I'm kidding. I worked in the office, obviously. But generally, it was just like something out of Catherine Cookson. You went in, and it was just like travelling back into about 1801.
Oh, crikey. Yeah, there's something horrendous about foundries, isn't there? It's a process that's just horrendously dangerous.
Fascinating.
And it is what it is. You know, it amazes me that we're allowed to do it anymore.
Exactly. Well, it's not there now, so I don't think that was anything to do with me. But this is the tram shed. So is this the full collection of your glorious vehicles then?
Effectively, it is.
all
yes,
stacked up from
everything
back to
that
front?
we have is in here.
Right.
Except for the one that's just gone out.
Except for the one that's just gone out. So which ones are you currently using then? All these that
we
are
have
at the
a pool
front?
of 10 vehicles
Right.
that can be called upon at any time, and we have open toppers and enclosed toppers so that we've got a variety of trams that we can use for different weather requirements.
Yes, the weather. The weather, of course. Now you might recognise this one as well, because this is the tram that features on our very own painting on our Seaside Emporium website, which Bryan has actually got a copy in his office. He's got a framed one that we donated that we're actually going to do something with, aren't we, Bryan?
Yes, we are. We've got some plans for that.
Yes.
I thought it was a lovely thing for you to think of.
So you need to watch this space and see what we're going to do with that. So you've got this roof. Now, am I right in thinking that this was originally the old sheds from Squires Gate back in the day? According to Mr. Nick Moore. According to Mr. Nick Moore, well, this one might not be, but according to Mr. Nick Moore and the history that we often dip into, it was made from originally 4 corrugated iron ex-World War I aircraft hangars. Or was that the one at Blundell Street?
That building's long gone.
Yeah, it's
I'm
long
afraid.
gone.
There were some that were old World War I hangars, and we did paint shop and other work in those.
Right.
But they've long gone. This was a new build in 1935.
Right.
Which was designed to house the fleet, which by and large is still in it.
Yes.
So this is quite a different.
So this is about 12 years after the one then that came as what did they call it when it came from the war effort? There's a name for it, wasn't there? That's going to really irritate me now.
I don't know, and you'll have to somehow put that out to the public.
Go on, what's it called when they use the old stuff from the war? Put it in comments and tell us what you think it is, because it's confused me. So the other question I wanted to just ask as well, when all these old buildings, the illuminations and the carnival shop and all the waste disposal stuff and all that kind of thing, were they over where Foxhall Village is being built now?
No, they're actually on this site.
Were they really?
If you rotate your camera to your right, you'll see a building there that dates to 1927.
This one?
Yeah, and there are some other buildings next to it that are the earliest buildings we have on this site now.
Right.
And those were some of the buildings that were used in the 20s, 30s and 40s over various periods.
Wow.
They were modified for different usage. The building that we can immediately see is now a stores, but it was originally built as a canteen.
Yeah.
It's been a canteen twice and a stores twice, so it's changed its
very interesting
usage several times.
So what was where Foxhall Village is now then?
That was the illuminations department.
Right.
Which was based
I
on the
never
site
went
of the old
in
donkey
that.
stables.
Yeah.
So it had a very curious history in its own right in the 1880s and so on.
Yeah.
It was the original pumping station, which is now replaced by the one on the promenade, the little concrete block.
Yeah.
So that was originally on that site.
Yeah, I never went to the old illuminations depot, sadly. Big shame. Shame.
Yes, you missed a treat there.
I missed a treat.
I went several times.
Yeah,
it was
I can
always
imagine.
nice to wander about, cobbled.
Yeah. Anyway, back to this roof. So this 1930s building needs some tender loving care, and you'll probably have seen that there's been an appeal launched to raise. Well, the appeal is to raise £1 million, and you might think that that's quite ambitious, but that appeal is serving a number of different purposes, because it's going to not only raise money and give people an opportunity to donate, it's also done ever such a lot for raising awareness of the plight of this building. And I can feel Bryan's blood pressure starting to rise as he's wondering whether I'm going to throw myself down this pit.
Yeah, I'd be very grateful if you managed not to.
Well, Well, just think it will make the video go viral, and then everybody will give you money. So what
It'll all
could?
be spent on your hospital expenses.
Well, yeah, I've heard the Vic's very reasonable.
Well, luckily we're connected by a microphone cable, so I have the capability to pull you back from the brink of
Yes, exactly.
disaster.
So it's been a great way to connect with people and to find out how many people are in support of heritage trams, because it's been quite astonishing how many people have actually donated, and it's been really nice to see donations coming from all over the world, not just from local people. So the money is going to pay for things like this, and the roof sadly is an all or nothing kind of venture, and you can see the state of it, and the problem is as well, because there are no doors on it, obviously it's getting weathered from inside and weathered from on top.
Structurally, the roof beams and girders are actually in quite good condition. They just don't look very nice at this moment in time.
Yeah.
We've had them structurally assessed, and as far as we can tell, they're actually quite good. So we need some cosmetic work to
Yes.
tidy those up. They need sandblasting,
Yes.
and then they need repainting. And some little parts of it may have to be replaced, but not drastically. So most of the expense for doing the roof is for the roof cladding, which
Yeah.
is completely life expired.
Yeah.
Under normal circumstances, that would probably be replaced every 30 to 35 years under normal usage.
Yeah.
And because the tram shed was originally destined to be demolished, then all expenditure ceased.
Yeah.
Until lunatic
Naturally.
me came along and absolutely convinced them all that we really need to save it because it's historically important.
We like lunatics.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And the nice thing is that they finally all agreed, but which means that now I have to raise the money. And the crowdfunding appeal that we did was a bit of a sort of a wild card thing, but the main purpose of that was to get the message across to the public that we are here to stay, we want to restore this building, and we want the members of our community, and I say community in inverted commas because I think the tramway community is a worldwide community, we want people to be able to feel part of it,
Yeah.
and to be able to make a contribution.
Yeah.
And it's been said to me several times that most people don't get a look in when any of this work is undertaken, that the grants are provided for it and the public don't have a say. For people to actually be able to connect with that and feel that they've made a contribution is a lovely way of connecting, and we want this to be a community project, so that's key to everything that we want to do in the future.
Excellent. And you've also got some plans as well for further down the line, which are going to be coming to the public's attention in due course as well, with aspirations to develop a heritage tram museum, I believe.
Yes, we're not going to call it a museum because
Yeah, in
we
inverted
think,
commas.
as a name that tends to put people off. They might not want to come to a museum, but if we said we'd created a heritage attraction that we can showcase our collections 52 weeks a year, then I think that's a different
Yeah.
story altogether.
Yeah.
So a third of the building is going to be divided
Let's just take a
to
walk
become
around.
an exhibition hall. So the tram shed will have three functions. It will contain the tram fleet for operational purposes, and we call that the stabling area, and that will be the third that's in the middle. And the right-hand third, which is where there's currently a small workshop, will be expanded and extended, and that will become the workshop that we do everything in. So at the moment we use 4 separate buildings to do various parts of the engineering work. We're actually going to put all of that into one space, so that we become fit for purpose, leaner, greener and meaner.
Oh, fabulous. And all of the ones of you that enjoy looking round buildings like this, because I know I'm not the only one, you'll be pleased to know as well that later on this year they'll be starting depot tours again, so that you can actually come and have a look yourself. It all hinges around these pits, because as you can see we're kind of hovering at the end of them to make sure that I don't fall in, being a calamity and all that kind of thing. But they've got plans to make access kind of through the side and round the back, so that you don't throw yourself into the pit either, and you can actually get into the building better. So watch this space and we'll let you know when the depot tours begin. So I'll put the link to the information in the description below. If you want any more information, by all means you can contact me, or you can get in touch with with Bryan at Heritage Trams. Goodness, they go all the way to the back as well. Are they stacked 3D or 4?
Well, we can stack them 5D.
Oh,
Or
goodness.
if we get small ones, 6.
Goodness me.
It's an enormous building.
It's
and
an
that's why
enormous
it's going to be
building. If you
expensive
look
to
at it
put
on
right.
Google Maps, you can see how big it is. It's really big. It's got 5 apexes, so it's it's a pretty decent sized building. So if you want to get involved, if you want to follow the progress of it, you can donate. You can come on heritage tours. You can watch this space. You can watch our videos, and you might even want to come along and volunteer. Hope you've enjoyed this video. So from Blackpool Heritage Tram Sheds and from Bryan, we will bid you a good day, and we will continue on our journey.
Thank you, Jane. And
You're
thanks
very
for
welcome.
watching, everyone.
Yeah.